Well, now that's one down. Let's go. Let's talk about this later. Crimson Desert. I'm really looking forward for Crimson Desert, but let's talk about that later. Let's talk about Keemstar. Back then, I actually retweeted one of Keemstar's statement. This one. It's exactly this one. I retweeted this, and it's just a bigoted statement on the side of Keemstar. Let's just talk about this.
And everybody, disclaimer. I am not an expert on mental health. And everybody knows it. What I'm about to say might come across as insensitive. What I'm about to say is probably 1,000% wrong. And if you want to shit on me for what I'm about to say, have at it. You're probably right. But Dixie D'amelio has now uploaded 3 videos.
Okay, before we go into that, the first part of the video, let's just analyze what he said. He gave us a disclaimer, and he just basically said, I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not an expert on this. It might go insensitive.
I am not an expert on mental. And everybody knows it. To say might come across as insensitive. What I'm about to say is probably 1,000% wrong. And if you want to shit on me for what I'm about to say, have at it.
So basically, he knew that what he's about to say is wrong, and it might come across insensitive, but he doesn't care. He'll still try to get that statement on the fucking spotlight, even though he's aware that it's wrong. That's wrong. And he has an awareness of how small the a big probability that what he's about to say is insensitive. Plus, he even said that he doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. And then he made a statement. And this is the statement. Oh, come on.
You're probably right. But Dixie D'amelio has now uploaded 3 videos talking about her being sad and da-da-da-da, and her life is so horrible. And 2 years ago, this girl was literally a no.
Here's the thing about uploading videos talking about your problems. I don't really recommend talking about your problems on the internet. I don't. Why? Because that kind of thing, you're basically exposing your vulnerability. You're giving this kinds of people the chance to weaponize it or actually use it against you. So that's why if you're having problems, do not disclose it on the internet. Maybe once is enough, twice, maybe tolerable, but the third time you'll do it consistently, you have to stop now. You'll have to stop. I'm not saying that people are not allowed to disclose. It might sound like people are not allowed to disclose their problems on the internet, but you could actually do it, but with moderation. You have to make sure that you don't say too much about what you're actually going on through. You don't spill too much beans on it. Just give the vague idea without exposing too much, so you could just let your audience know what's happening, but do not give the specific details, because people can actually use that. I mean, look at this, Keemstar. Like Dixie D'amelio, who was he? Who is she? Like that person uploaded 3 videos in the internet talking about her problems, and now look what happened. Keemstar doing his thing again. So if you're a content creator and you're having problems, if you want to know and you want to tell your viewers about it, just to assure them that you're doing fine, just tell the vague idea and assure them that you're doing fine, or tell them that you're going to need some help. That's it.
Nobody, and now she's rich and famous and super freaking popular. She's dating this huge stud. Like, what the fuck are you crying about? She just uploaded a video titled Roommates, a new song.
Just because you're rich and famous and successful doesn't actually mean you're happy. Depression is not something that can be cured with fame or power or money. It's a real mental illness, and you'll need professional help for it. Unless Dixie D'amelio is just doing this for attention. But I don't know the specific detail. I'm going to be optimistic about it. Being rich, being famous, and being successful does not necessarily mean that you'll be happy with your life. No. That's not how life works. For you, some of you people, it might not make sense, because For you, that's the definition of happiness. For you, that's the pinnacle of happiness. That's your definition of the pinnacle of happiness. Being rich, being famous, having money, and being a successful in your career. That's your definition of the pinnacle of happiness. However, for some people, the definition of the pinnacle of happiness is something that they did not receive ever since. If you don't have, let me put this in a situation. If you were poor when you were born, until now you're still poor, maybe most probably your pinnacle of happiness is having enough money to support yourself, sustain your life, and the more pinnacle of happiness is being rich and successful in life and in your career. Why? Because that is something that you haven't received when you were born until now. You were born and up till now. But for rich people, they have other problems. This is the problem with boomers, actually. This is the problems with boomers. They tend to invalidate the problems of people just because they have something better than them. No, that's not how we should treat these problems. Just because someone's successful or rich, we will just invalidate the problems that they're suffering. I mean, man, I'm so sad. I have some problems, and then you will just reply, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're rich, you're famous, you're successful. What the fuck's your problem?" No, we shouldn't be talking like that. We need to listen to them. There's a difference between external challenges, external problems such as money, career, and those shit, and internal problems, which is basically you dealing with some certain emotional problems, or maybe some abstract problems like relationships, and those. We need to listen. People value different things, and for different things that they value, it comes with risk and problems. And we shouldn't invalidate just because they're small problems compared to what they are. We shouldn't do that. This is what Keemstar's doing.
Song where, you know, basically like she's having a mental breakdown and she has all these different people in her mind. And dude, all of that could be true, maybe, I don't know. But from the outside looking in, it just looks like somebody is like fucking literally monetizing mental health.
This is another problem. Again, another problem. Keemstar is just looking from the outside. He's not looking from the inside. He doesn't have any inside information of what's happening to Dixie D'amelio. Me personally, I don't even know what's happening to Dixie D'amelio. But if Keemstar will do this into another person, it's just bigoted. He concluded immediately.
Literally just like, hey, look, there's a lot of sad people out there. There's a lot of people out there that are dealing with some mental health issues. I'm gonna make a bunch of songs about it and just like rake in all the fucking money. Like, that's the way.
That's one way to put it. That's the very, very harsh way and the very to put it, wherein you just put monetization of mental health in a bad way. I mean, come on. Psychiatrists monetize mental health, but while monetizing mental health, they do something good that is helpful to people. Why? Because it's their job to treat mental illness and to handle mental disorders. And in doing so, they earn money because they need to sustain themselves and they need to earn out of it. Now, in Dixie D'amelio's case, if I'm going to take everything that Keemstar is saying, Dixie D'amelio is releasing songs regarding mental health. I don't think there's really a problem about it. That making songs about mental health and then raking all the money as you do it, I don't think there's really a problem with it. The only problem I have with releasing songs about mental health and monetizing it is that if the song is inaccurate, there's no education about it, it wasn't handled with care, it's disinformation, it's very insulting towards people with mental health, and it's basically a song talking about mental health wherein the writer knows nothing about it. That's a bad way of monetizing mental health. If you're going to monetize mental health, you have to make sure that you're not doing anything wrong. You don't have to necessarily do something good. Just don't fuck up. Just don't fuck up. Educate yourself about mental health. Talk to people who know about it. But first you have to get consent before you could use the information that you get from them, and then try to put it in a song. And what else? To be honest, a lot of artists out there who are suffering in depression, one way they're trying to express what they feel is through songs. And when these songs become successful, they monetize it because why not? If you can earn a living out of making songs and sustain yourself in the process, why shouldn't you do it? You're not hurting anyone. You're just doing what you want and earning money out of it. So Keemstar, I think this is just a bigoted response.
I see it from the outside looking in, and of course, I'm not in Dixie's head. Maybe everything she's saying is.
So he's aware that he's just looking at the outside, from the outside, and he's not from inside Dixie's head, and yet he still continued on making a statement. I don't think Keemstar is really concerned about the problem. I think he's just doing this for clout. This is what I see here. This is a problem.
True, maybe she's not milking it, but it just seems that fucking way. Can we please just hear from someone a little bit less fortunate about their mental?
Here's the thing. Just because someone's actually suffering more doesn't mean that you have to invalidate everyone's problem. No. That's not how it goes. Every problem requires a solution. Just because you're having it harder doesn't mean that my problem should be invalidated. You sound like a fucking boomer, Keemstar. This is what boomers say. That statement of being, let's be more whatever towards people with worse problems in mental health and invalidate Dixie D'amelio's problems is the definition of children are having it easy these days. You sound like a fucking boomer, Keemstar. That's just it. Just because someone's having it harder doesn't mean you have to invalidate everyone's problems as well. Just because they have money, they have fame, they have success. No. We have our own challenges and problems. This is the problem why we shouldn't disclose our problems in the internet. Because people like him, people assholes like him, people who are assholes like them, would just shit on him. We all know who Keemstar is. And I don't want to get into details. What's the problem with him?